Welcome, friends. You know, we like to always start the show off giving love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. First and foremost is going to be our friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, more than 70 years ago, Jack Ritchie set a goal for Ritchie Engineering to become the standard by which all other HVAC hoses are measured. In the last 7 decades, the Yellow Jacket brand has not only become the standard in HVAC hoses, tools, refrigeration gauges, manifolds, HVAC vacuum pumps, and refrigerant recovery machines, it's become legendary. How have they done it? Through an unwavering commitment to excellence. It's the single most important attribute in the longevity of the company. While other companies sold out, sent work overseas, and lessened quality, the relentlessness, commitment of their people has led to 70 years of best-in-class products, first-class customer service, and innovations that make the contractors' jobs easier worldwide. That's us, guys. So let's join Yellow Jacket in the next 70 years as they commit to changing the standard once again. Guys, remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. Yellow Jacket. Next, guys, we are working on a discount code for you. This is not even complete, but just because I believe in them. Guys, I believe in earning while you're learning. That is our friends over at Interplay Learning. A lot of you have been messaging about a discount code. We are in the process of working on that, to get that for you. But guys, you need to check them out. Look at them. If you're a business owner, a manager, your techs can be working at the same time, getting better at what they do. You can keep track of it. You can test them. You can design the path they take to whatever you think is best for that individual person. This is really the new way of learning. Not saying there's not good schools, because there's a school that we believe in, the Perfect Technician Academy. But you have a guy that can go out and work his 8 hours, can be producing revenue for the company, and at night he can be getting better, and he can go implement those very things he learned the next day. So guys, go check out Interplay Learning at interplaylearning.com. On to the show.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you to all of our global listeners, and God bless the United States.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended, because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelley McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelley.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 90-ish, some shit like that, of the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I am your host, yours truly, Mr. Gil Cavey Jr., sitting alongside the one and only HVAC effing millionaire, Kelley motherfreaking McKay. What's up, buddy? I know you like that.
I do. Yeah.
I've had better, though.
Gotta admit, it sounds good.
I feel like it's like in the blue corner.
Yeah.
Mr. Kelley McKay coming out, weighing his balls hang 3 inches lower than his penis. Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little different. Normally, Kelley introduces the guests, but I'm going to do this one only because, guys, tonight, I'm really excited. A lot of you know that I've made a switch recently, a place that I was at for a long time. And I had an opportunity that just really, really excited me. And I don't know, it just sparked something in me. So I made a change, and I'm very, very happy that I did. And that man who gave me this opportunity, my new boss, Mr. Ryan Grimes.
I was going to say, soon to be known as my new owner, Mr. Ryan Grimes.
Yeah. Stop pressing the unmute button. Hold on, now it's not letting
Yeah, he's
him
not touching anything.
Unmute.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Jesus.
Sorry.
We had a fudge up already.
Yeah, so you're not gonna. My goal is for you not to say my owner anymore. I think you're going to lose that language.
Yeah. I didn't say it at that time.
You haven't said it at all anywhere, so I'm happy.
No, I just keep waiting for him to say my new owner.
Yeah. That's what my buddy Kirsch would always say. He's like, "What are you in slavery?
Yeah.
Why do you call him your?" He was making fun of me at AHR. So.
No, that's all good, man.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on, brother. We appreciate you coming, making your podcast debut.
Yeah, man. I was a little like I wasn't nervous until like right now. So, no, I'm really happy to be here, man. I can't wait to dive into whatever we're going to talk about. So,
yeah, man, it's good. Well, you know that, guys, one of the things that really. And I've said this in a video, and I've talked to Kelley about it, that really, really intrigued me about coming over to this company is the culture that Ryan has built here. Like, it is literally, like, we all know that they exist. It's almost like, the Great White Hope, like, oh, man, like you watch a video and you're like, oh, look at that company. And I'm not saying that I haven't worked for some good companies, and that's what you get to realize, that that's just what it is. You come to work, you do your job, you go home, and it's just work. But it's not like that here. It's just it's hard to explain, and it's something different. The way people are treated and the way things are done, that it just makes you want to wake up and come to work every day. And that's something that we're going to try to discuss this podcast, as far as things that Ryan has done here at Beltway, things that Kelley does at his company, and just how important the company culture is, as far as your foundation of your company. If you want to grow and you want to succeed, can you do it without it? Do you need it? And all those kind of things. So I guess we'll start. I guess, Kelley, we'll let you go first, man. Tell me, what are your thoughts about, company culture and how you've done things at your company? And then we'll let Ryan go.
Well, my first thing that comes to mind is that, there's that old, like, if you take a stick, right, one stick, and you can snap it in half, like, really easily, like it's thin enough that you can break it in half, like, say, a pencil. But then if you add 2 and you add 3 and you add 4 and 5, and the more people you add, the stronger it gets. So it's just that old adage that nobody makes like anything of themselves. Nobody gets successful without a team of people behind them, period. It may look like on the outside, it may look like it's that one guy, but it's never that one guy. It's never that one gal. It's a team of people, pushing each other up and making those big things happen. So that's my first thought on culture. I could talk for a while on culture, I guess.
No, it's good. I guess we'll talk, because I want Ryan to explain his theory and what he thinks about it, and then us chime in on it. So I guess, Ryan, go ahead and let me know what culture is to you, and kind of, what has worked here so well.
Yeah, I first want to talk about what Kelley was saying about the sticks. I love that example with the pencils, whatever you want to put in there. But because whenever anyone gives me a compliment, like, wow, you're doing such a good job, or wow, you're doing so much, I'm like, I don't like to even say thank you. I feel weird, because it is the team that makes this happen, and I think building a great culture is building that great team. And if you have a great culture, then you're able to bring on the big players like Mr. Gill, right? So, it's just team building. My dad is doing his second round of business right now. He kind of went away, and now he's coming back. And I was talking to his partner today, and I was like, dude, you've got to build a better team than what you have. And it's nothing personal, but you got to have a great company culture. You got to make your foundation, something they can actually build off of. So the question was culture and what it is to me. Culture is, hey, I want to come to work the next day. And that's true for me, just as it is for you, Gil. I want you to come to work, want to come to work the next day. And so do I, because I've worked too many jobs where I was like, I do not feel like dealing with the lady or the guy or the tech or whatever in the office, whoever it is. Fixing an air conditioner is hard enough, dealing with the customers is hard enough. And you throw bad culture on top of that, and it's just too much for me. So, it was like, all right, we're going to give this a shot. And if it doesn't work, then I guess HVAC's not for me. But hey, it's working. So,
yeah. Well, Ryan, I'll tell you, man, two things that you said to me that stuck with me in the 3 hours dinner we had with that delicious fucking cheeseburger was you said we didn't really talk about money or numbers. You didn't talk about yourself. I love that you said I wanted to create a company that I would want to work for.
Yeah.
So that really stuck with me. And, even though this is technically after the interview that you said, we're technically a marketing company that's just really good at HVAC.
Yeah.
So like, I just felt like every time like you said something, I was like, hey, I think that too.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like we're on the same page. And like I said, that's what really kind of sold it for me, because Mike, if you're listening, you old bastard, I appreciate you and all the stuff that you did for me. But we had different visions. And I used to always tell Kelley this. It was hard to try to get people to portray someone else's vision. So when mine and your vision was so similar, pretty much the same, that's what like really got me. Cause it's like, I can just be myself. I can just do what I think is right and stuff like that, because the visions are aligned. And I had only known you for fucking 3 hours. No, seriously though. So I'm like, imagine what we could do if we build that relationship over months, years. And really, that's how I thought about it. Like, I think about things in a goofy level like that. And that's what sold me, man. I'll be honest. It's crazy. Like I said, money is great, but I've always been able to make money. I'll always make money. Money is not the most important thing to me. But that's awesome. And the awesome trucking ball that kind of helped
that was
too.
A nice steal.
Every single company has to have somebody who's a visionary, who sees the future, who lives in the future, who, dreams about what this could be and what's possible. And then they have to communicate that vision to everybody in the company. So if you guys are in sync here, then if Ryan's out of the office and Gil's running a team meeting, he's got to be the one who communicates that, so it'll help to have both of you guys like communicating the vision constantly to the company. It's something that all the best CEOs in the world will tell you, that you never, ever stop communicating the company vision and where you're going. You're going to get sick of talking about it. And I know it will change as your business develops and as you guys expand and start building a bigger and bigger company. And it will change. I know it will change. But whatever it is, the 3-year vision, the 5-year vision, the 10-year vision, you've got to communicate it. And you got to get other people excited about it.
Yeah, it's all built on that nucleus that you're creating right now. That's already created. Like I was telling Ryan, like it's, you sure up that foundation. And if that thing is good and you got, double blocked, and I'm not a carpenter, but you know what I mean? Like that when you start building on top of it, that no matter how many layers you build, that foundation is rock solid. Because people don't, and it's not. And then, that's when the shit starts toppling over. And now you got millions of dollars involved and everybody's, it's your fault, pointing fingers like, what do you do wrong? Blah, blah, blah. Or I won't say names, or we have things happen like some of these people we've heard over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Shady stuff happens, or, so, that's the kind of things you don't want to happen. Brian, I really want to go over, I guess I don't want to say it, but I love these 4 things that you put down about company culture. So I'll let you start with them because I really, really like these.
Yeah, I just came up with 4 things that could really I don't know. I just wanted something tangible that people could walk away with. And something that not everybody thinks about. And the first one is learn how to implement care in your organization. not everybody knows how to care. Not everybody is a good and caring person, and that's okay. If you have somebody on your team that is good at doing care, then put them in charge of that. But as the owner, or even at a top level manager, just like Gil, you want to do the one-on-ones with everybody here. And I think that's like a very tangible thing you can do to implement care is just do one-on-ones with everybody. And it's from the helper to the technician or, your top manager or whatever. So it gets your low level guys and everybody in your organization. I love the client versus a customer feel, a customer is somebody you see and then you leave. A client is somebody you build a relationship with. And just how we treat our customers is how we need to treat our employees. And doing those one-on-one creates that relationship with each and every one. And it doesn't have to be all the time. With the helper, I might do a one-on-one, hang out with them twice a year. And it might be an hour in my office. He grabs lunch with me, but my managers, it's going to be every week. So, but if I do that to them, then that's going to trickle down throughout the, throughout the business. So,
yeah, you gotta get to know what everyone's fighting for. What is their why? What do they need too? I recently read, I can't remember which book it was, but there was about a company that actually just started actually asking like, what do you need from us? And the amount, this was a big corporate company, but the amount of responses that came in were just mind blowing. And they were simple things. It was like, I need my car fixed so my wife can go to work. I need transportation. Now the bus, this is just rough examples, but knowing what that person is after or what they need, because sometimes it's the simplest things that you can help them with. And that's what we're here for. Like, that's what we're fighting for every day. We're trying to help each other get to the next level. So, finding out what it is that they need, that's important, and what their dreams and goals are. Where do they see themselves in 3 years or 5 years? To know that information is something that is invaluable. I mean, if I know what Gil wants to do in 3 years, I can say, if Gil's having a bad day, I can say, Gil, look, man, or your mind's going in the wrong direction. I can say, look, man, having this type of attitude and treating this customer this way is not going to get you that new house that you're wanting to buy. Like, and so if I know what he's fighting for, and the same with me, I want my guys to know and my girls to know, what am I fighting for? We're on the same team here.
Yeah.
So you help me, I'm going to help you. And we're going there. We are going to make it. We're going places and things are going to change and everybody's going to get what they want in the end, Yeah.
The other thing that I like, and I know it's when you're smaller, it's easier maybe as you get bigger, but especially when you're smaller, I like to be able, like, and I know Ryan does it a lot here when they have like the company functions, and I want to be able to see one of the guys and be like, I don't know, I'm just making up a name, how's Jen doing? How's your wife doing, man? Is little Bobby and Susie okay? It makes it personal. Like, I know your family. I know what you, like you said, I know your why and what you're working for. Like, hey, everybody's good. You guys need anything? All right, man, that's good, dude. I'm glad to hear everybody's doing good. It just makes it personal. Like, and that's one thing where I was, and it was very, hey, we got the job done. I mean, they got the job done, but I felt like it was like Mr. Roboto, because everybody, I would do it, but it wasn't coming from the top. Like, we started doing more things together to hang out outside of work, but it just, I like that. Like, oh, hey, like some of the guys, like, you guys, I used to always talk about Mo that worked for me, and he, was always like, how's Brittany doing? How's your son Tyler? Like, that's the kind of stuff I like. It makes it on a personal level. Like, we're friends. At work, I'm your boss, but we're friends. You can talk to me, if you have a problem. It's not like, because some people you get hired and they see you the boss, it's automatically like, oh, we can't say shit to that dude. You know what I mean? He's gonna get us in trouble. And you got to make it so it's not like that, that, Ryan knows when I first came here, my first thing I told everybody in the meeting was, I'm here to help in any way possible. Not like, hey, I'm coming in and we're going to do A, B, C, D. If you don't like it, hit the fucking road. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that doesn't solve anything.
I don't think it works anymore.
Yeah. So
I don't believe it works anymore.
No.
You're not going to be able to keep anybody with the my way or the highway attitude.
I'm offended.
Yeah, we're going to run into that with like the younger technician crowd too a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait till that day.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I guess go ahead and hit on to the next one, man, because I love these. These are all very good and valid points.
Before I do one more thing, is, you find their why they're working for you, but I think that also translates into why they're coming to work for you. And I think it's really important when you hire somebody. I talk to Gil about hiring character all the time. Yes. But when I hire somebody, I always want to hire them if they're coming for the opportunity to work here. Some people, it's more money and that's all they want, and he's probably going to go on and pass the next one. But if his why, if every time he's quit a job in the past is opportunity, you can really do something with that guy. And same thing with you, Gil. I mean, you said you were off and on Supreme, and every time you went off, it was for an opportunity. And if it didn't work out, you went to Supreme, but now you're here and you're staying here forever, right?
Yeah, goddamn right. Yeah, no, exactly. Because like I said, it's, if you turn into that's the difference between a job and a career. And it sounds kind of cliche when you say that, but to all the listeners out here, guys and gals, you can always make money. And we always say this, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I understand when you're in the field, it's like, oh, it's easy to say that, Gil. You're sitting in the fucking office now. Guess what? I've put my fucking time in. Okay. I've worked 20 fucking years in the field, busting my dick, and I was doing what the rest of the guys weren't doing, which is why I preach that. I was the guy in the fucking attic when it's 90 degrees outside, taking heat exchangers out, showing customers that it's cracked and selling systems because I was thorough. That there is something at the end of the tunnel. You just have to be focused on your vision. And when your vision's aligned with your company's vision, it just makes the whole process simpler. So that's, that comes into the whole culture thing.
Yeah. And I think it's like where you want to be and where you kind of want to end up in your career. We have an awesome guy. He's like, I'd never really want to be in the office. I just want to be working, now, that could change 10 years from now when his back starts hurting real bad and his knees start, but, as of right now, that's what he loves to do. So, all right, on to the next one is cutting the cancer, even if it's you. All right. Second tangible thing you can do to make your culture better. I mean, I'm really guilty of this, and I've had to catch myself in the last just couple months, really. And that was my lesson is I was getting really frustrated with one of my technicians, and I was talking really bad about him to another technician. And, and then it started to infect, and I saw the other technician and, in the office get really frustrated with this guy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just put the biggest target on this guy's back, and he could probably be doing a good job, but I'm not giving him a fighting chance. So, I know. I know.
Cut the cancer.
Well, I turned around and I said, hey guys, we got to stop talking bad about, one another or anything. We got to stop that right now. I'm sorry for what I said. I just said it out of emotions. I didn't mean it. And, and I went to that technician. I said, hey man, I want to let you know I've been talking about you, not good things. And I just want to say, I'm sorry. I want a clean slate from here on out. For both of us, that sounded like a good deal. And, I won't talk bad, I might, who knows, I might get frustrated one day, but I'm really trying to be cautious of just not venting to the people that could probably understand me the most. But if I got to vent, my wife is awesome. Right. Yeah. So that's my venting partner.
Well, that's why people think I'm an asshole, because I always say what I feel. Because if I have something to say to somebody, I just say it. And a lot of people don't know me like, well, fuck you, man. But it's because I just think that that's better. If you can't handle what I'm saying, then maybe we shouldn't work together. We shouldn't be friends. But when you beat around the bush, that doesn't fucking help anybody. I don't want people close to me, like Kelley said, that are going to be like, if they see me not doing something, knowing that that's not what I want to do and being like, it's okay, man, don't worry about it. No, I want the friend that's going to be like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? That's the kind of people that I want in my life and in my circle, that are not going to shoot the shit. They're going to tell me like it is, because that's the kind of person I am. Because if you sugarcoat it, I hate to say this, I'm a dominant trait like kind of person that I'll fucking walk on you. You know what I mean? If, maybe not as like now, like I was years ago, but if you tried to sugarcoat shit like that, or you didn't tell me the truth, okay, I'll tell you what you want to hear, and I'm still going to do what I want to do. I need those people to be like, come on, Gil, what the fuck are you doing? I just think it works better.
Let's back up to number one again there, Ryan, and tell that story that we were talking about before we went live.
Yeah, no. So I mentioned about care, and just like, it's okay if you don't know how to care. And there's the book I read with my wife before we got married, the 5 Love Languages, and Kelley was on it. He reads it. So you want to talk about that, Kelley?
I actually never read the book. Shame on me. And I know it's supposed to be a great book, but my wife had me there's a free quiz that you can take online. And she had me take that quiz, and she took it, and we exchanged what is our love language? And so I took that quiz and I gave it to my 3 office people, because I want to know, they're who I interact with the most all day long, every day. I want to know, what is it? What do they need from me to feel appreciated, to feel like I care? And shit, we spend enough time together. Eventually, I love these guys, they're part of my family, my work family. So, I had my manager take it. Well, his is quality time, which is it. I just pulled up my results, in an old email, and it says, simply means giving someone your undivided presence and attention. So if you feel and express love this way, you're happy, simply taking a walk together. Well, we're not taking a walk together, but knowing that he wants my undivided attention when he walks into my office to tell me something, that helps me be a better leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my CSR, hers is words of affirmation, for instance, and it's sincere words of kindness and affirmation is how she feels and expresses love. So that's good to know. Now I know that. So I make sure to tell Danny, I'll tell her, I'm really proud of what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job. I make sure to tell her, because she needs to hear that. So it's really important to learn these, and it's really a simple quiz. It's I want to say 15, 20 questions. It takes 5 minutes to take the quiz, and it's going to tell you what you need to feel appreciated, basically. Totally.
My wife needed to do it, because I thought when she said, "What's your love language?" I just dropped my pants. That's why we have 4 kids.
It's every guy's love language at the end of the day.
No, Gil. Okay, well, maybe. But no, in all seriousness, though, I kind of take that same thought as when I used to coach youth sports. Some kids, you got to kick in the ass to get them motivated. Some kids, you got to pat on the ass, they're not going to take yelling at them. Like my son, he's kind of a little bit of both. Sometimes you got to dig in you got to tear him down, but then you got to build him back up. What are you doing? It's a stupid play, but then you let it sit in for a second. And then you got to be like, hey, buddy, I didn't mean to yell at you, but you got to do this on that play. You know what I mean? It's the same thing when it's in this. You have to know your personnel. You got to know your people, because you can't treat them all the same. You can't lump them into one big category. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 5 love languages are words of affirmation. I'm just going off memory, so Kelley, I might need your help. Words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and gift giving. So, so we rank those 1 through 5. How do you feel loved? And kind of what Kelley was saying is it's really important for you to know how your organization, your people feel loved, because the guy who wants, quality time, like you said, he wants your undivided attention. Now you're not going to take a walk with them. Gift giving is the best, because you can simply just get somebody a gift card and be like, hey, I really appreciate you. Here's a gift card for doing an awesome job this summer. So kind of figuring out like how, I can tell, like at Beltway, if in a meeting, I said, John, you're doing such a good job in front of everybody, John would light up and love it so much. If I said, hey, Dave, you're doing such a good job in front of everybody, he probably would just put his head down and be like, cool, thanks, But if I hang out with Dave, just one-on-one, me and him hanging out, not even talking about work, he would love, he feels cared for in that way so much more than just publicly, giving him affirmation in a meeting. So,
I'm needy. I need all 5, just so you know.
Yeah, gift, got to mix it up.
I need that song in the back. Yeah, lunch, in the background, when I think about you, I touch myself. I'm sorry, but it was good talk. Keep going. I talk too much. I'm sorry.
You're making it interesting. So.
That's my job. On the podcast.
Yeah, that's not what I hired you for.
Not in Beltway.
So another thing Kelley said is leadership. If you're, if you can be a business owner, but you also you took on this obligation to be a leader, and I think it's your obligation to be a good leader. And I think what that looks like is caring for your people. And diving into, how can I become a better leader to my people? And for me, it was number 2 this summer, cut the cancer, even if it's me, and that's how I learned to be a better leader this summer. It was like, don't talk crap about my other employees to employees, so.
Or firing yourself from a position. That's what I did. I was, trying to manage everything, and I wasn't a manager, and so the guy who was answering my phone wound up, it was in desperation one night, or more like stress driven, on the verge of breakdown. I give him a call. I'm like, okay, man, if I gave you a $3 an hour raise, or I don't remember what it was, might've been $5 an hour. You want to take over and just be manager? And, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And he had lots of experience in HR type situations, and it worked out, man. He was able to, do the discipline when it needed, because there has to be, it can't, I totally love what Ryan's saying. I totally believe in it all, but there also has to be a certain amount of challenge added to that. We can't all be lovey-dovey all the time, or then what happens is people start taking advantage of you, because they think they can get away with anything, because he's just going to love on me no matter what. He's going to love on me. Well, there is some, you got to have some yin and yang in there, like a little bit of both mixed in there. But what Ellen Rohr says, she's like a numbers guru chick that was involved in the Clockwork franchise and sold for millions of dollars. So what does she say? She says, you love on them all the time. That way, when you need to, you can thump them, thump them on the head, wake them up when it's necessary. But that you can't just go thumping people on the head without loving on them first, So there's just a lot of truth to that.
My next book read is Radical Candor by Kim Scott. Have you read it?
It's in my, I started listening to it last week on Audible.
Yeah, I'm really excited to listen to it because it talks about that yin and yang of, you are so good with an employee that you can just give them the hard news, hey, you're sucking really bad at this right now. Because I feel like if you're not, you have to give them the crap sandwich, like tell them something good, bad, then good.
We did a podcast on that, the shit sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah. So the candor's in the middle where, you can say just, hey, really good relationship. And I'm just going to give it to you straight. You're really sucking at this and you need to be better. And we're just going to continue on. It's kind of what Gil was saying too, and I feel like Gil, if probably our helper came up and said, hey, Gil, you should probably start selling better. You'd be like, what the F, F you. But like a guy that you respect, you'd be like, all right, cool. Yeah. Because you have that relationship. So that's kind of what Kim Scott talks about in the candor. You need to really dive into it. I've just did the Spark Notes basically so far.
Yeah, well, even what me and you talked about today, when we were talking about having a meeting with the service guys, yada, yada, yada. And I said, we need that good cop, bad cop. I'll be the bad cop if you want. And you were like, no, I need to be the bad cop. And that makes sense because first, I'm new here, so it makes me out to be the good guy. But the fact that you have been loving on all the guys for so long that when you come in and say, hey, why are we not fucking doing this? Why are we not doing this? And I'm in the back like, but no, in all seriousness, but when you come in there and you say that, they know that they can't say anything. Nobody can say anything because normally, it's, hey man, like you guys know, I give you guys the world, but we got to do A, B, C, and D. Like that's just, we have to do this. There's no ifs and buts about it, and then you can all give them a pat on the ass on the way out. But I do think it would be more powerful coming from you because I haven't got that. I mean, yeah, I've been lovey for 2 weeks, but some of these people, I haven't even worked with them one-on-one. They just know I'm their new boss. That's all they know. Yeah. So I do think that would mean a lot more.
Yeah, I think something that helps is firing somebody every once in a while. That lets everybody know you're serious. No, I'm playing. I mean, it does work whenever somebody gets let go.
What do you mean you're playing? I mean, it has to be real, right? I mean, sometimes it has to be real. Like you can't, but too often that person's been getting away with it for far too long. But regardless of that, if you did the right thing, made the right decision, everyone sees that. Everybody's going to respect you for that. And they probably appreciate it too.
Yeah. I've given some guys zero chance. Like you did something I didn't like, you're out. See you later. Yeah. And most of the time that's dishonest, lying, anything like that. You're out. Get away from me. There's been guys to where they've just been like screwing up in their personal lives and it's kind of diving into their work. And that's a situation that I'll be like, hey man, let me try to help you. Okay, it didn't work. Let me try to help you. Okay, it didn't work. All right, you're out. There's like nothing I can do anymore.
Right.
See you later. And I think the bigger our team gets to, I think that my tolerance for things are going to go, super down, because it's not so dependent on, it's just the three of us. So if I lose one, that's almost like kind of half the company,
right?
So,
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it gets to be rough. I mean, and I agree with what Kelley said is, that lovey-dovey, but every once in a while there has to be that like, smack in the face and then the kiss. You know what I mean? Like just because it's gotta be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, don't, we got a good thing. Don't take advantage of it. All right. You know what I'm talking about? Like you got it good, but you just as fast as you got it, you can fucking lose it. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I'm just, obviously I'm not talking about kids, you know what I mean? But, it's like me and you were talking about, me and Kelley have talked about it. Me and you have talked about it today is complacency. We all get complacent. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody does. But what makes the good ones good is how fast they realize they're becoming complacent, that your complacency little kind of brain farts get shorter and shorter and shorter because I do it. Like I said, I'll get selling and I'll get on a roll and I'll be walking around like I'm fucking King Ding-a-ling. And then I go into a little spurt because I get cocky in my mind. I start skipping steps. I start getting away from the system because you can't call it a process. It's a system. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, and then I gotta be back like, Gil, like, what are you doing? Like, no wonder you didn't sell. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Like, you fucking moron. So everybody gets it. It's just you gotta have somebody that's there to do that. To keep that, that vision and that goal, like I said before.
Yeah, have either of you guys read Courageous Leadership by Bill Hybel?
I haven't.
No.
Is he a military
it's not
dude?
a Dr. Seuss book. I haven't read it.
He's a church guy, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
I haven't read it.
I got like a good experience. I like managed a bunch of guys in my church or whatever, and I was under some really good leadership by my boy JMO, and he in the book Courageous Leadership, it talks about the 3 C's: care, challenge, and clarity. So with care, when this is directly what we're talking about, with care, there has to be challenge. And then there also has to be clarity for good execution. And that challenge is typically goals. So you want to set, I want to care for my guys, but I want to set goals for them that are just a little bit out of reach. So they got to work for it. And if it's, I set a goal for you and you didn't meet it, if you got extremely close, we'll talk about why you didn't get it. But if you didn't try, and I'm not trying to challenge you and improve you, then, why are you even here? And not that why are you even here for my part, it's why are you here for your part? Because you got to challenge a guy for him to want to stick around. You got to make advancements in his career, and you got to show that you're thinking about that. So I just think that book, Courageous Leadership, is just like an all-in-one package on how to be a good leader and how to onboard. Now, it talks about volunteers, but you just translate it to, employees, people in your business directly. So,
yeah, I only read Dr. Seuss books. So if that's not what you're talking about,
so I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to use it because I do got to get back. And Audible is what helped me because what really got me going is when I told this to Kelley. When I read Tommy Mello's book, Home Service Millionaire, like the Audible, like I really stayed into it because when I read, I'm not a good like read and retain what I'm reading. I read it and I get done. And it's like, what the fuck happened?
I'm saying it's the way you're reading.
Yeah, the audio,
just so you know, it's the way you're reading.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's what my wife tells me. That's why she did my homework in high school.
Amen.
Like reports. I was like, here you go, babe. But Mr. Cefalo, you fat fuck, if you're listening, you failed me anyway, you son of a bitch. You rotten hell. But thank God one of my teachers changed my grade or I wouldn't have graduated.
I did the same thing. I was like, Miss Sup, you're so beautiful, and my dad's beating me, so can you believe me a C?
That's fun. Now, one time I got my so that I could play football, I had teachers. My coach went to 2 teachers and they changed my grade so I could be eligible for the playoffs.
That's what I'm talking about. I was never that good at sports. But
fucking big gun, baby. Walking down the hallway like, yeah, bitch. Then my coach made me pay for it. Shit. Let's let's get on to number 3, man.
All right. Okay, I can get into this a lot. Allow people to feel like they have the space to say what's on their mind. I think this is something tangible that you make your culture better, right? So, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think I've ever worked at a place where I felt like I could go to my boss and say, hey, I don't like X. I don't like something that's happening. Or I don't know. I guess I would say like, I like this, kiss ass a little bit, but I would never say, hey, I think that this system could be a little bit better, and I never felt like I had the space to say that. So I try to, I think, and that correlates to having the one-on-one with the guys. They'll kind of, develop that relationship from and be able to tell you those things. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. What do you think about that, Gil and Kelley?
For me, it sounds like kind of like open door policy, right? I mean, where they can come in and talk to you about whatever's going on, and knowing that it's okay for them to walk into your office anytime, unless the door is closed, obviously, and then they can knock and they're welcome every time. So I've always been the same way, I share a lot of what we talked about before we, or maybe it was during the podcast. I don't remember, but what Gil was saying is like, I wanted to create a place that I would have liked to work, a place that really opened the books to me, like talk about where we're going. How much money did we make? Like, let's talk about this stuff, where we're going. I mean, just any of that stuff. I never had that with any company I had worked for the 12 years before I decided to start my own company. Not once did anybody share a vision with me. Not once did anybody ask me. I knew them on a personal level because I only worked for smaller companies, but nobody's like, trying to pitch in and help me when we didn't have enough calls during the winter. No, I got sent the fuck home. I got 20 hours a fucking week for fucking month and a half till I couldn't pay my damn bills. And it would take me all summer to catch up on my bills. That's how it was. That's what I came from. And I'm like, I'm never going to put my people through this. Like anyone who decides to join my team, I do have to cut some hours when we're really, really slow. But for the last 4 years, like I can't remember a time where it usually will rotate between maybe two guys who get maybe 35 hours, and then the next week they're getting 40 or 45. So it's never like consistent. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to make sure to never put somebody through what I went through. And I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but open door, man. Like, what do you need? How can I help you?
That's good though. Yeah, that's good. And I like it. Like me and Ryan talked about this, like one of my first days or before, I forget, but it was, when like one of your installers can come to you and be like, hey, I know this is the way we do it, but I think that we would be a little bit quicker, more efficient if we did it this way. And it's not like, well, that's not what you get paid to worry about. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you, when people used to say stuff like that, like you want people to be like, oh, dude, like that's a fucking great idea. Like, good job, dude. Like, yeah, like I don't know why I didn't think about that. And then, and I don't think I ever told you this, Kelley. And I was telling Ryan the other day, at my last company, it was called the Fuck Yeah thread. That we had a thread with me and all the techs. The owner there wasn't in it just because that's Mike, but whenever the guys would do something good, whether it was in their personal life, they just bought a house, they just bought a car, they just sold a system, a $high ticket. Like I would be like, oh, hey, everybody, Kelley just, bought that first house, man. Congratulations, brother. You finally did it. We're proud of you. Fuck yeah. And then everybody else in the message would say, fuck yeah, fuck, you know what I mean? And it just got to be that everybody loved it. It was, the fuck yeah thread. And it just showed that everybody gave a shit about everybody's well-being, whether it was work or not, and stuff like, I don't know, that really did they kick you out? Talking about, but no, they might have started. Well, I was the one who did it. So to be honest, I hope they keep it, whether I'm there or not. But the sad part is it'll probably go away.
Well, you can build a new one.
But yeah, just take everybody's input. What's that? Yeah. No, I talked to Ryan. I want to.
Yeah, I thought he told me today. He was like, "Yeah, without the owner." I was like, "Wait a minute, why can't I be in it? Like, I want to be part of the celebration, man.
Yeah,
like, it's great."
Yeah, I was like, "No, that's not what I said." I
was
said
super offended too when I thought you said the other thing. I was like, not okay with that.
I like the idea. It's a good idea. My guys added me to they created like a group Snapchat, so. But I'm not like super into Snapchat. I'm old. So
well, I think Snapchat's gay. I can't get into it either. My family
they post it every day, and I watch what they're posting. But and it's all good. But yeah, we need a fuck yeah thread. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, that's way easier.
I have some good ideas every once in a while, man. Ask Kelley. They come randomly. But when I get them, they're fucking fabulous.
I get them and I tell them to you guys, and you're like, "This is an awful idea." And I'm like, "All right, back to the drawing board." I was thinking on vacation about having to give free masks, like a fireworks stand, like putting them in parking lots, and they're like, "This is such a bad idea. Go back on vacation." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to see you guys."
Walk of shame back to your office.
Yeah.
Well, he was sitting on a beach. He's supposed to be on vacation. We're like, dude, like, aren't you supposed to be on vacation and not fucking emailing us every 10 minutes?
Yeah, I know it.
That's funny.
All right. Yeah, I think, Kelley, when you were saying about like, hey, it doesn't have to be like this. Like, just opening your mind to it. Oh, it's the way it's always been done and not having to. But I think that I've learned not the way it's always been done sometimes costs money, like my goal, I'm not where you are, Kelley, to where my guys, I can say, oh, in slow time, maybe 35, 40 hours a week. Like Gil and I are really aggressively have a great plan in place to make that not happen. And we're attacking it really aggressively next week. Right. But, I'm not there yet, but I want to be able to be like, hey guys, we only installed one system today and I know Christmas is around the corner. Everybody gets 40 hours and just kind of call it a day, or if that were the case.
Sure.
So I don't know. Is there any ideas that I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but are there any ideas you can think of that you're like, oh, I would love to do this, but just realized it was a little bit more challenging than meets the eye. I mean, I'm asking you to go back years here, but.
Go back years about like how to do what? I didn't catch the question, I guess. So
the question is just like, is there anything that you wanted to implement in your company that you realized like right away that you couldn't do it right away? Like for me, it was like, I want to be able to provide my guys hours all the time. But I realized, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, and maybe it's the same exact thing for you. In that aspect. So,
well, there's been, man, I don't know how to answer that exactly, Ryan. I just know that I've been through a ton of struggling times in the company, a ton where it's like down to the wire, where I've got to go, get out money from our line of credit, to just because we don't have enough business and, everybody stays relatively busy, but we're not bringing in a ton of cash, we're not making enough sales or whatever the case. So it's a challenge. So it just takes a lot of just believing in yourself, as corny as that fucking sounds, like just know that you can do it. Like, know that I know. It sounds corny, but man, it is like, so if you decide my guys are going to have these hours no matter what, well, what are you going to do, man? You got to get your ass pumped up and get out there and let's have like remember like back in school when you had pep rallies, like have a fucking pep rally, like everybody in the war room, let's go right now. And let's get everybody excited about what needs to happen. And I know Gil can help with this during the time. Like this is nothing now. September's nothing. Just wait till for us at least, like February, March, April, horrible. Now we're the same way. We're putting shit in place. I learned a strategy last March this year that I put into place, and I really believe it helped save my cash flow because we were struggling. I did have to take $30,000 out of a line of credit to help us. But we set some goals. We put some targets. Everybody knew what we needed to make happen. we had a sale. And with this strategy, we were able to close a lot more deals because we needed to collect gross profit dollars. I didn't care about the margins. I needed dollars to cover my nut, cover my overhead for the month. So there's a way to, you can break that down and find out exactly what it's going to take. And we did that, and it helped us tremendously. And one of my coaches shared that with me. And so this year, I'm going to be prepared, dude. Like, this shit ain't happening again. I'm going to have every year in my area, and I'm sure any of the guys listening that are in my area know exactly who I'm talking about, but every year, and they're starting it already. They're starting their promotion of the free furnace. Buy the air conditioner, get the furnace for free, or buy the furnace, get the air conditioner for free, whatever. And people just believe that shit, And so we've tried it in the past, but I didn't have the marketing budget that they had, so I couldn't compete against them. Well, we are going to have a sale, and they're on the radio like nonstop. Well, I'm going to be on the radio nonstop. You're going to hear our company and competing on that radio. So we're a lot smaller than them, a lot, but because they've been around for 40 years. But with the proper plan and the strategy and knowing, okay, we're going to know I'm going to overcome $100,000 loss over the course of 3 months or 4 months, whatever my down season is. And then I'm going to split that up, and I'm going to know exactly how many sales I need to make. It might be 80, it might be 50, it might be 70. I don't know, but I'm going to know exactly how many I need to sell. And I'm going to have an idea of how much marketing dollars I'm going to have to spend to hit that. And, so it's just about having a plan. I believe this is what some of the really big companies understood that I never understood. And I feel like that was a golden nugget that I was given earlier this year by one of my coaches that had never been shared with me before, to help you get through those slow times. Because if we could just, most of us, if we could just not lose money through any slow season, can you imagine what the end of the year, what you'd wind up with?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the key, is just not lose money. It's okay to break even. Just don't lose money. And
right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you know how many sales you need and you get the whole team behind it. Hey, and we built a big whiteboard, put it on the wall, and we're crossing them off every time we get one. And we're celebrating every time we get one, because we know this is what we need to make it. And man, it really, I'd hate to say that it like saved us, but I wouldn't call it quite that. But man, it probably saved me, from, it was a life raft. Absolutely. It was.
It was swimming.
Because it's depressing, man, when you fight so hard all year long, and then you have 2 months of like, you're just scrapping for any possible thing you can get. And the cash goes fast when you continue to pay your guys the 35 or 40 hours. The cash will dwindle really quickly. So it's something to, sorry, I blabbled on there for a long time, but that's all I can tell you is that I think it's just about having the right strategy. It sounds like you guys are doing some really cool things with your SEO and stuff and your Facebook marketing. I know you guys are doing some good stuff. So, maybe if there's a way to ramp that shit up during the slower times, do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's already the great national debt. Jesus Christ. But like you said today, Ryan, it's also letting technicians know that I can give you 20 hours and I can give you the opportunity to create 20 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have to know the opportunities that are there and have to know to help themselves, because in the residential market, I don't care how much fucking advertising money you make. Sometimes it's just not there, like to just schedule it. But those 20 hours you do have that week, all those calls have opportunities to generate something. I mean, we've talked about that on this podcast fucking a million times. And that's what we need guys to see. That, like tune-ups, 20 minutes in, 20 minutes out. Guess what? You didn't generate shit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, this is where also knowing certain conversion rates and stuff in the industry can help us manage our businesses better. So for instance, I done a little bit of research on this stuff because I want to know. And I know that like 60% of all tune-ups, like if somebody just calls in for a furnace tune-up, 60% should be converted to a maintenance agreement. So knowing that, now you can start tracking that and saying, okay, well, I sent John to the last 10 and he's only converted 2. That's 20%. That's ridiculous. Get in here, John. We need to have a conversation. Because you know that it should be way better on a tune-up. If it's a demand call, just a no heat call, for instance, 25 to 50% of the time, we should be converting those to maintenance agreements. 25 to 50% of the time. I know that's a big gap, but that's what it said, and what I read in an article. So at the bare minimum though, 25%, right? Well, I did the math like last month and I had one guy in my company hitting 25%. And I had some that are 7%, 13%. So that's a red flag for me. I'm like, this is not right. We've got to get better at this. So then it becomes, where focus goes, energy flows or whatever. Like if you focus on these things and you talk about them and you bring them up, like they're naturally going to start coming up in your company.
Well, and that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up about Service Titan. Some of the reporting features you have, you can keep track of all of this stuff. So that's what I meant, Ryan, when I was talking about some of the reporting features is things like that. Like it breaks it down like it's plain English, like individual tech, all the information you can get about one person, you can find out like, well, fuck, I thought this guy was doing a good job. But when you look at these numbers, like maybe it's really not that good, like it really does bring things to your attention where it's like, damn, I didn't ever thought about it like this. I know it taught me. I didn't know that you could have that many reports. To be honest,
I'm all in on Service Titan. Like I went ahead and I'm in Marketing Pro, which comes with the reputation management software, and then I'm also just today I signed up for the Pricebook Pro because of the reporting. It's all the reporting because Pricebook Pro, I don't want to have to go in there and enter the price of every single item. Like, like how much is this run capacitor? How much is that run capacitor? How much is this relay? How much is this contactor? I don't want to have to go in and add that for like the job costing. So theirs is already pre-built. That has the national averages of all the parts in there. So now I'll be able to job cost. It will automatically job cost every service call for me. I'm going to know how productive are we, it takes national averages of the time limit, for instance. So if the time is 30 minutes, let's say, I know it might be a little bit long, but 30 minutes to change a contactor and it took the technician an hour. Well, that's going to show up on the report. Hey man, what's going on? If that happens over and over and over again, it might be a concern that we need to talk about. But it's also going to show you the really productive guys who do get the stuff done on time and they sell multiple tasks. And so it's not all about catching the people not doing good, right? I want to catch them. I want to catch them doing good also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it can help you do that, yes, it's an investment. Yes, it's, but the number of things that should be tracked in our business is, man, I'm telling you, it's a list that's probably 50 pages long. Like the more you learn, the more you understand how much needs to be tracked. Like the deeper the rabbit hole goes, and it's all important stuff. It's all important. I know that we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. So we're going to pick like the top 4 things to track for your CSRs. For instance, what are you tracking on your CSRs? What's their conversion rate? When people call in for a demand service call, how many times are they booking the call? Like, we need to know that, because it's been proven that most companies are like 70%, which is horrible when you actually dig into it. And that's what we found. We were horrible. But when we dig into it and we learn more about it, we get better. And, our last report for the last 2 weeks, I can tell you we were 95% booking rate. But the interesting thing about that is 77% of the calls were spam calls. 77%. Well, with Service Titan, I'm able to go in there, and that's what the girls are working on now, is we can go in there and start looking at those phone numbers. And any duplicates that we see, we can go in and block them right through Service Titan. So now we don't have to waste our time on these particular numbers calling us over and over and over again, which makes us more productive. It stops wasting the CSR's time for answering the phone with people who hang up, or robots that call and hang up. So you see, just that alone, the rabbit hole goes so deep, man. I could share so much with you guys. But this is where the coaching, hiring coaches, you start learning about this stuff. And for now, pick the top 3 or 4 things that you're going to track and just get really good at those. But with software, it does it for you. That's why it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that's what I told him when I came over. I mean, I went from paper and pencil to Service Titan. So I went from like 2 polar opposites, and it was just like me with like trying to figure out all these numbers to, oh, you want this, you want that, you want this, you want this, you want that. It's like, get your balls off my face. Stop, yeah, it's a lot, but it is
the shit Gil says, man. The shit Gil says.
Yeah, it's a learning curve, though. It is hard to learn. And like I told Ryan that maybe like it's something that we need, maybe in the future, but I think that there's a lot of other things that we can address right now. Yeah, because, from actually using House Call Pro, like I did their demo when we used to work with them and stuff like that. And after using them, I do like it. There's some things about that I like better than Service Titan.
They're upgrading their reporting and stuff too. So I haven't seen like their Excel version. I haven't seen that. I don't know what all it does. So I know they're constantly upgrading and innovating, and it is, it's more affordable. So I would never tell someone to not like, oh, you got to get rid of House Call Pro and move. No, I would never say that, because
well, that's exactly what I said. I was just, when we had conversations, I was just talking about what I knew, because that's what I came from. Yeah. Yeah, I know this show is getting a little bit long, but there's a comment that I want to make to both of you since I have you on here. And I respect you both for this, because you both have this similarity that you both care about your country. You care about your country too. You care about your company so much that I know both of you for a fact, you don't pay yourself what you're worth. You take all of your revenue and you put it back into your company, that you have other people in your company that probably take home more than you do, but you never make it about you. And I commend you guys for that, man, because I know that's not easy. And I just want to say that that's something, that's why you guys are going to have the ultimate success, because you've never been selfish. And just the little things that I've seen, I just want to make sure everybody knows that, because I think that is truly awesome. That's not something you can teach. It's either in you or it's not. And I just, I commend you guys for that. So
I think thank you. Appreciate that. I think I know you can make a ton of money, because I know guys who do make a ton of money if they stay small. Get 2 or 3 people, stay small and just work nonstop. Like you can make a lot of money in this business, but they'll what is all that noise? There, it finally stopped. It was that track playing. That thing's long. Yeah.
Oh, it must have kept going because it's turned up. The sound was down.
I know you can make a lot of money. I know guys that do make a lot of money. They stay small, but they just work their ass off. And that's if they have a bunch of things right. And so I never got to experience that in my company. I don't know about Ryan, but I didn't know what I was doing to such a degree because I had only worked for small companies before that we never made any money. For the first 5-6 years, we never made any money. It was always a struggle. It was the harder I worked, the more money I owed because I wasn't charging enough. And so the guys who understand and and they value what they do, and they're not afraid to slap an $800, $900, $1,300 bill in front for a repair for a customer, those guys can make a hell of a lot of money being small. But eventually it gets to the point, if you're really good and you do the right thing with customers, you will inevitably grow. It's inevitable. You can't stop it. And when that happens, the demand increases. And then
yeah, that's one of the first things I told him when I came over here. And I was like, dude, we can probably charge more for this, just because I know that I see what the guys are doing and how valuable the service is. And I was like, people will pay more for that service because Joe Blow's not doing that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Ryan.
sorry, I wasn't trying to talk forever.
You guys are good. I'm just sitting all just like listening and having a good time. I totally forgot what I was going to make a point of, but going to like, the bigger to get, I feel like the more I work, the less money I'm making. That makes sense. Cause it's like, if I am putting my nose to the grindstone and I'm putting in 60 to 80, I'm typically it's because I have to, and I'm trying to just like cover my ass on like all the, the bills that are just constantly coming in. So I feel like when I'm working a healthy 40, 45, sometimes 50 hours, it's like, that's when the profit margins and the weekly, stuff, the reporting is coming back good. So, and going back to the reporting stuff too, I do find a lot of value in reporting. Like I love Excel sheets. I have a ton of them. I'm not good at like doing it all. And that's why like other people here do them.
Yeah.
Right. But talking about the CSRs, I know that, my digital marketing company, they have like an auditing thing to where they will say how many leads they got you, and they listen to your CSRs. But the cool thing about it is that you get to listen to your CSRs. And that was like super big for me. Just being able to listen to them and, be like, oh, you need to stop this, or you can say that, or, and stuff like that. So
that's,
I don't know.
Whatever that saying is, what gets managed, what gets measured gets managed, or whatever that saying is.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty lucky as far as, the girls that we have answer the phone, because Amanda, who's going to listen to this, she can sell systems over the phone. Like no bullshit, yo. She'll sell a system over the phone. Yeah. Signed, sealed, delivered. So I would say what she does over the phone is pretty damn good. Like I've worked with some really good people in the office, but they weren't doing some of those things. So
I recommended a book, and a buddy recommended this book to me. But it's called On the Shoulders of Giants by Jack Tester. Read that book. Like I'm telling you, it's an absolutely phenomenal, great book. Every single business owner if you ever want to be a business owner or think about being a business owner or are a business owner, should read that book. And it really just starts with basically what he says is you've got to decide the life that you want to live. And then basically build the business around that life that you want to live. And it starts with your pricing, man. So
yeah, that's huge. That's part of that foundation.
I have a worksheet,
about.
Ryan, that I'll share with you. All you need is grab yourself a profit and loss statement, go through all your expenses, and I'll let you fill in all that information. Then maybe we can do a Zoom meeting and I'll just show you what I know about that. And it'll help you determine what the hourly rate needs to be to pay for all of that and give you, more of a life. Not that so it's just, then it just comes down to your courage. Your courage to be able to charge that and feel good about it,
Yeah, I've come, and Gil's really helped us out with hey, man, this is too low. I don't think he said anything's too high yet. Maybe except for our helper. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Everybody's drug free. But just being, I don't know. I'm kind of right now what I'm going through is I'm kind of coming to terms with it just costs too damn much to run a company. So it's you got to pay this price. I'm you got to pay it. I'm sorry. I know the part costs $50, but you've got to pay it. I mean, or I'm not going to be here in 5 years to warrant it,
But the thing you realize, and me and Kelley always say this on the podcast, you can raise your prices and 85% of your customers won't say a fucking word. They really, you in your head, you're like, man, people are going to bitch about it. They're going to say something. They don't say a fucking thing because they're paying for your service. As long as your service is providing value, they won't say a word. And those couple of people that are like, oh my God, it's $300 to change that capacitor. It's this on Google. Okay. I don't have to do it, but we're using a premium capacitor. We're going to warranty this, for such and such, I mean, there's a reason why you charge that much and most people won't say anything. As long as, like we said, as long as those systems are in place that we're adding value, people will pay for it. They're willing to pay. Like me and you talked about, Ryan, for that company that pulls up in the nice truck, has the clean uniforms, that the guy goes out and they remember his name. Like, oh man, Joe was out here and he did an awesome job. They remember it for the good that he did, not something bad. Or if you're not remembered, that means you weren't good enough. I used to always say when I left, I wanted people to remember Gil. That means I made an impression on them. They remembered me. They were going to give me a review. When they call back in next time, hey, can I get Gil to come out? Whatever. As long as we're coming back out, it doesn't matter who the fuck's going. So, and that's what we're going to implement here. We're going to get the guys to just show the value, maybe slow down, know when to, especially it's hard when you're in the summertime where it's go, 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 capture every call. To now it's, hey, let's dial it back a little bit. You can take a little bit more time.
This is part of the transition that can, maybe as a team, you guys sit down and get on the whiteboard. How can we add value? Hey, we could smile, right? Write it down. We can smile more often. There's a lot of value in smiling.
That's awesome.
You change somebody's physical, the way they feel when you smile at them. That's worth something. Okay, what else can we do? Hey, we could, I don't fucking know. Yeah, not park in the driveway. We could put cones up around our truck. This adds value. We could, I don't know, is everybody every single time wearing floor savers? I don't know. Maybe they're not. Well, if we're going to charge this premium price, we better be putting them on every single time, right? So how's everybody, I know Gil's nice, cleanly shaved now and tight, but before he had like some shit hanging off of his damn mouth. So it's like, that's not as clean. It's not as, so how can we trim up and make our appearance look better? Can we stand taller? Can we speak like we know what the hell we're talking about? Like, these things are all value. And it's just for you as an owner, Ryan, to be able to start shifting your thinking into like all of these little pieces. Are the people friendly when they call? Like, is your call taker, your CSR, is she smiling when she answers the phone, or is she kind of drab and monotone? Like, all of these things add value, and it's going to create an experience. So how can we add value? How can we create a better experience for the customer? And I don't care what you come up with, but hopefully you could get some buy-in from everyone there at the company that, okay, here's what we can do, because they're on the front lines. They're going to be, they've been charging $250 for this one part. All of a sudden it's going to be, $395. So some of them may have some of their own, I think I saw a Joe Crisera training or heard him, and he was talking about leave mom in the truck. I know some of you Joe Crisera guys listening, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's leave mom in the truck. So we all come with baggage. We all have baggage of like, money doesn't grow on trees. It could be like you don't handle your personal finances well. I didn't till I was like 34 years old. We were paycheck to paycheck because I blew my money. I just didn't pay attention to it enough. So if you've got technicians that do that, that's a lot of money to them. They're like, oh shit, I don't have $400. How can I be charging these people? These people are just like me. I mean, I even talked about him. We became friends. He's got the same dog that I have, and his son goes to the same school as me. And here I am charging $400. So I think we all get in our own way. And
I think one thing about here is some of I almost said it. Some of the systems are fine. It's just tweaking. It's just interchanging the numbers. I really think that's all it is. That the systems, we tweak the systems, maybe add a few more, but a lot of it's just interchanging numbers. That's really all it is. But I know it's almost 11:30 and we've been talking for a while. So I guess I'll talk to you in the morning. But
Not before,
thanks for coming on, bro. I want to do this. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, brother. I really do. I'm excited about our opportunity together with this company. Obviously I'm thrilled and how's the word? Gracious for the opportunity to see what we do with it. And, we'll get you to come back on. But I thought this culture was a really good thing to start it off. And then we kind of,
we went into
veered off there.
I didn't get into themes or anything. I want to talk about themes and getting the guys pumped up. Like, what are we going to do? Last quarter's coming. Yeah. So I'm behind on my goals. I gotta produce some stuff with my company, and I'm sure some of the other guys are feeling the same heat. So if we're gonna hit our goals, we need a pretty good theme to get everybody on board, get everyone excited about it. So,
well, maybe we have that conversation. We bring Ryan back and we continue that conversation to talk on it, because I know there's some other things that me and Ryan want to talk about as well, and I think that's going to be very valuable for the listeners to be able to take and write those little golden nuggets down, and hopefully it works for them too. But thanks for coming on, buddy. I will let Kelley start to close this thing out.
I'm sure we'll talk again. So
I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Of course, buddy. Anytime. You'll be. Don't worry.
I had a good joke.
That's one of the perks.
My joke was going to be, man, you could have just reached out to me, Ryan. If you want to be on the podcast this fucking bad, just reach out to me. Like, you don't have to hire this freaking, you don't have to hire this dude just to get on the podcast.
Everybody's like, you're going to be on the podcast? Well, I kind of hired the guy, but he's a big deal. So it's cool. It's a double, real quick. The last thing on my list was be proactive, not reactive. And that's all I'm going to say, because I know we're out of time, but be proactive, not reactive to the situations you come across or whatever. So.
Absolutely. That one's good.
Okay, guys.
So, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you being on here, Ryan. And thanks to all our listeners. Please leave us a review. I know we've seen a couple of reviews. We need to, on the next episode, we're gonna go through some reviews and read them, because we love reading the reviews from you guys. So just keep them coming. Keep subscribing on your favorite podcast app. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you for all your love and support, guys. Hopefully you joined this episode, and I know we shared some stuff that took us a long time to learn. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I think that it should be valuable to a lot of people. So, but we thank you with all our hearts for listening. Until next time, go make money.
Yeah, guys and gals, as always, man, we appreciate you. I'm going to close this out, but there's something that I waited till the end that I really want to say. And I made a Facebook video about this. Today I lost my aunt, which that sucks. But I also lost one of my customers, and I'm not going to make this all sad and drab. I just want to say these people have been customers of mine for a very long time. And the moral of the story is I want you all to know that for that hour that you're in that house, for every time you go out and you service this person's unit and that little chat that you have with them, that could mean a lot more than you think it is. Maybe it doesn't mean much to you, but for all you know, you could have made that person's day. So just make sure all these relationships you make that you appreciate it, because when I found out that this lady was sick, and now today I found out she passed away, it hit me like a ton of yesterday. It really hit me, like it really did. I didn't think it would, but I mean, I almost couldn't keep a straight face. It was almost, what is bad as today when I found out my aunt passed, but it hurt. And that just shows me that the relationship I built with these people was more valuable and meant more to me than I knew it did. So, yeah, just make these moments count and just keep building those relationships with customers. And it just helps the job, and just something to think about. But anyway, I love you guys, man. You guys know I appreciate each and every one of you. Probably here in like 2 weeks, the live streams will start back up. I'm probably going to switch the day, but I'm not quite sure. I will let everybody know. But the live streams now will be on Facebook, YouTube, and an Instagram. So I will let everybody know when that does come out. I'll give you a rock solid date. But yeah, man, once again, I thank Ryan for coming on here, man. I am very, very excited about this opportunity at this company, how me and Ryan can feed off of each other, and I can help be a part of the next chapter of this place, which I think is they're only scratching the surface, and I think it's going to be amazing. And hopefully you guys can be a part of it, and or can watch it grow, and I can, let you guys be a part of it as far as listening to it and finding out, what we're doing, how we're doing it, etc. But anyway, keep leaving those reviews. We are going to read them here soon. But guys, I say the same thing every week, man. Guys, be safe out there. Always make it home the same way you left. Do the little things. Do the little things the next guy's not doing, because that's what's going to set you apart. All right? Do those little things. But damn, until next week, man, I'll talk with you motherfuckers later, all right? Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.